My gosh, I keep like forgetting today's Wednesday. Anybody else?
I don't know what day it is. I don't know what day it is.
I mean, most of us have felt that way for like 8 weeks now, right?
Yes, absolutely.
I know. It's a zoo. I keep thinking today's either Tuesday or Friday, or I don't even know. Rachel and Katie, do you guys want me to, actually, Rachel, can I have you hit record? Because I feel like if I'm going to do our new coach call afterwards, this might mess it up.
Yes, I am recording, so we're good.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we are ready to kick off then, I think. And I got to apologize in advance. I'm kicking off and I'm all sweaty because I just finished a workout and my kids are occupied, but this is like the beauty of coaching. You just show up as you are, perfection not required. So we are so excited, guys, just to welcome you to this little info session. We've been chatting all week about it, and you're going to hear a little bit of our stories as we kind of share some of the biggest objections that we had and a little bit into what we do as coaches. So I would just encourage you tonight, you're here on this call for a reason. You know, you've had a little tug on your heart for some reason, and so I just would encourage you to kind of dream big, let yourself kind of push any preconceived ideas aside and just listen with an open heart and think about how this could apply. As you hear our stories, think about how this could apply to really you and your life and your vision for your families and your future and all of that. So I'm Abby. I live in Oregon. My oven's preheating behind me. I've got 2 small kiddos, ages 6 and 2. And I am a full-time coach now, but before I started coaching, I was an assistant director of admissions at a top university out here in Oregon. I recruited and I traveled a lot for my job and I absolutely loved it. But like probably a lot of you can relate to, daycare was really hard for us. It just took a big toll on our family, and my husband was busy in firefighting stuff and paramedic school, and it was just this like, it felt like a lot. And so I had been getting some results in my own health and fitness with the 21-day fix. Some of you might have heard of that way back when it was only on DVD. And you had to pay $160 for 1 DVD set. But I loved it, and it gave me this plan to follow postpartum and helped teach me nutrition for the first time ever when I always said I couldn't do diets and I wouldn't count calories. It suddenly clicked. And I remember I started getting these incredible results, and people were asking me what I was doing. And I stumbled onto my coach on Instagram. And I'm going to talk about social media with you guys a little bit and kind of how it applies to what we do as coaches. And if you resonate with this or as you have questions, please drop them below, because I don't know if social media or the thought of sharing your life out loud is a little scary when you see what we do. If it is, let us know. But it was for me. But I stumbled onto my coach's account. And I remember thinking, oh, I don't really use social media. I was actually this close to deleting Facebook. But like, people share recipes on Instagram. And so I literally hashtag searched something along the lines of 21-day fix and stumbled onto my coach's account where, and again, let me know if this resonates with you, but I proceeded to creep on her, guys, for 3 months. And when I mean creep, I legit was doing that. I didn't follow her. I didn't like anything she posted. I never commented on anything. And thank goodness, like, Instagram stories wasn't really a thing yet, because she would have seen me watching her. But I was so intrigued with what she was sharing. And this is really the beautiful thing, kind of the first thing that we do as coaches that I'll share about is you're committing to your own journey. You're sharing your own results. And I really think as coaches, you get the best results, because there's something like when you have to hold yourself accountable to someone beyond yourself, it really helps you show up. So I was watching her do the same workouts that I was doing, getting incredible results, and also sharing about how she was helping other women do the same thing and how she was also able to build a business that was blessing her family on the side. And we're going to talk about that part of it a little bit more. But I was so intrigued. So after creeping on her for 3 months, I jumped in as a coach. I told my husband, I have no clue what I'm doing. I don't do social media. I'm an introvert. I'm a full-time working mom, so I have no extra time, or so I told myself. But I really want a different future for our family, and I think that this could help just a little bit. So I will go all in for 3 months. Whatever she tells me to do, I will implement and actually take action on. And 5 years later, I'm here. 2 years into the business, I was able to match my full-time income. 2.5 years in, I came home, and I was able to watch my daughter take her first steps. I was able to be the one to put her down for a nap and pick her back up again, which I never did with my son, and be present with them. And I'm never going to say it's a total, like, not a hot mess. You can see we're just juggling all the things, but it's ours, and it's what we created for our family. And I think that the very first thing, like I said, you do as a coach is you just share your journey. So the social media piece of it is so impactful, and I was really nervous about it. I was nervous that it would take too much time. I was nervous that I didn't know how to take a good photo. I'd never taken a selfie. The thought of that quite honestly made me want to pee my pants a little bit. I was nervous about being open and vulnerable. But what I've come to love, and I hope that if you guys decide to coach, that you kind of discover along the way, is that it is such a powerful tool. I think we all want to make an impact in people's lives. I think we all want to make a difference. And social media gives us a platform to tell our stories in our words. It's really fun because you get to be creative with it and you get to learn. And you'll probably have some posts that just flop and nobody likes, and that's okay. We all do. But you get to learn how to show up and share, you know, how you're getting your workout in and your kids are playing around you, or what you're packing for your healthy lunch option, or something in your devotional or reading that really inspired you. And you just get to share your journey. So when you start as a coach, that's really what you do first, is you just get your own results and you start sharing them on social media publicly. And then as people watch your stuff, like your things, comment on your posts, ask you what you're doing, you're able to interact with them, plug them into our virtual accountability groups, boot camps, challenge groups, whatever you want to call them. And we then help them get their results along the way, just like they've seen us kind of show up and do it ourselves. So it's not that scary, I promise. And you're going to learn, like we will teach you in our new coach mentorship, really along the way, what kind of posts to make, what things you should be posting on Instagram stories, how to use certain apps and things like that. And I promise, I know all of us on this call tonight had to learn those things. We started from ground zero. And so it makes it easy. We have like specific units in our training to help you learn those exact things. So not knowing how to do it and everything like that, does not have to be a concern of yours because you will learn it. But it's more of this idea behind it of like, instead of being this burden of, oh my gosh, I'm so scared to share, it gets to be this incredible gift and this platform of, oh my goodness, how cool is it that this mom of 2 kids from a tiny town in Oregon with less than 300 friends on Facebook actually can share things that might encourage someone today. And it doesn't always have to be connected to your business or be salesy or spammy. I was able to share through our miscarriage. I was able to share through really hard things in our family, and not in like a air your dirty laundry way kind of a thing, but in a way that really helps people who might have been going through something similar, and became this really cool opportunity to encourage other women and uplift them in community. And I think that's the most powerful thing about it, is it's so much more than just sweaty selfies and taking pictures of your food. It becomes this really neat tool that you have to share your story, because your story matters and there's people out there who need to hear it. And I keep thinking about the fact that I watched my coach for 3 months and she had no clue that I was even out there. She had no idea who I was. She didn't even know I was commenting or watching stuff, but she showed up every day with consistency, regardless of who was watching, just being faithful in her journey and bold in talking about the opportunity and all the cool things it was doing for her family and casting that vision. And 3 months later, after creeping, I jumped in, and that in turn changed my life, which has now enabled me to go and help other women, and this really powerful ripple effect starts spreading. So that's a little bit about social media, and I am forgetting who I'm kicking it off to next, but you know, Katie, perfect. I'll go ahead and mute myself.
Hey guys, thank you so much for sharing all of that, Abby. I'm like shaking my head, yes, 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 to everything you were saying. So I'm Katie Bryant. I live in Charleston, South Carolina. I have 3 teenagers, one in college, one officially going to be a senior, and one going to be a sophomore, which just seems crazy to me. And we moved here about a year and a half ago from upstate New York. And one of the great things about that is my husband, we moved for his career, and the best part was I still got to do coaching, which I absolutely love to do because we get to do it from anywhere we want. And so things didn't change for me career-wise in order to support my husband and, you know, his next step in his career. So that was pretty awesome. But so I'm going to talk about one of the biggest fears that we have heard for many, many years from so many people that we've talked about coaching, and that is, I'm really afraid, or I don't want people to think I'm salesy. And guys, you cannot be salesy if you believe in what you have to offer other people. And if you know that exercising and eating healthy and being surrounded with positive people, good community, and, you know, absorbing as much personal development as you can on a daily basis, if you know what a game changer that can be for your own life, it doesn't feel salesy to share that with other people. When I started my journey, I was never thought about coaching in a million years. I was an interior decorator. I owned my own business, and then I also worked for Pottery Barn, and I did all of their in-home appointments. And I was very unhappy in my career. I would work from 7 in the morning to 7 at night. I felt like I wasn't present with my kids at all. I felt like pretty much all my customers were kind of snobby and very demanding and rude. And I didn't really get to work with a whole lot of great people. And I was on my own a lot. And I just remember thinking, gosh, this is not what I wanted for my life. I thought this was my dream job. And no matter how much I tried to be excited about what I was doing, I just didn't love it. And when I became a client of Beachbody, I was not in a good place at all. I had been heavily medicated after being hospitalized for mental illness for about 5 years. I was 50 pounds overweight because of food and alcohol to make me feel better on a nightly basis. And so when you do that, the weight starts to creep on. And I wasn't in a good place at all. I felt incredibly uncomfortable in my own skin. And I had tried everything out there. And I remember thinking, which is so silly now, knowing what I know now, but if I got skinny, you know, I would be happy and everything in my life would be better. But if you guys ever look back to pictures when you were actually skinny and you realize I wasn't even happy with myself then, you realize that's not the answer or the key to happiness. It's how you feel from the inside out. And starting this journey was incredibly hard because I wasn't in a good place mentally, and I was exhausted and I was overweight, and I was like, this is hard. It's hard to work out every day. It's hard to make good choices every day. It's hard to be a positive person when you're surrounded by negative people and you're not a really positive person yourself. But I just kept reminding myself what was harder was being stuck where I was for the rest of my life. And so I just made a promise and went all in on my birthday, March 3rd, 6 years ago, and was going to give this journey everything I had. And I made a promise to myself and I made a promise to my family. And showing up every day, being a part of the accountability group, drinking my Shakeology every day, which I was the biggest skeptic about, eating healthy foods, applying all the tools that we give all of our clients that we work with helped me change my life. And so I can't imagine where I would be today if somebody wasn't sharing their journey on social media and I didn't happen to stumble upon it. I can't imagine where I would be today. And so every time I am talking to somebody or sharing about what we do or what we have to offer, whether it's, you know, personally or professionally, the business side of things, I truly feel like I'm sharing a gift. And if I'm not sharing this with other people, I truly feel like I'm doing a disservice to them. And so it's no different when you guys fall in love with your, you know, hairstylist, or, I mean, how many of us were missing our hairstylist? How many of us can't wait? I just got to go back to mine. So, but you know, we fall in love with something, and you know, our church, and we are just like, gosh, every time I leave service, I am like, I just feel like a new person. I want to share this experience with everybody because I know what it's doing for me in my life. It was the same thing for me with this journey. And I just thought, what if I could help one person that was in the same place that I was get their life to where my life is today? What if I could help one person feel as good as I do? And guys, once I did that and helped my first person, it was like I was hooked. I was hooked because I was like, oh my gosh, if I could make a career out of helping other people feel good and change lives, that this would be like the ultimate gift for my life, to be able to make an impact, to feel fulfilled, to feel purposeful. And that's exactly what I've been able to do with this business. And I will tell you, I work my butt off. I work very, very hard. This is my only job. I do this full time. I have very big goals for myself and for our family. But I've been doing this for 5 years, and I am very grateful for this opportunity. And I'm very grateful that I get to share it with all of you and everybody else that we've been able to share it with. And so guys, like, it is not salesy at all when you're sharing a gift that you know can impact other people's lives, whether it's inviting them to join your challenge group or accountability group, whatever you want to call them, or it's inviting someone to the business opportunity. Both have been such gifts to my life, to Kendra's life, to Abby's life, to Rachel's life, to everybody we know that we're coaching with. And so honestly, it's like, it is feeling like you're doing a disservice if you're not sharing this with others. And none of us have ever felt salesy. But I will also tell you really quickly before I pass this on, and in our training, we talk about how to make connections. Like when you're working with your cold market, we are never going to be those people that are going to tell you, guys, send out 100 cold invites today, inviting everybody you know to join this or that. Like, that is not what we're about. We are about getting to know people. We are about building relationships, and we're about finding out how we can serve people, not about how to make money, how to make so many sales, and how to cold invite as many people as we can. Like, we don't want to be those icky people. So I just wanted to add that in before I kick it off, which I believe is to Rachel. Okay.
Hey, you guys. All right. So I am Rachel Mitchell, and I love these women. Like, Abby's in Oregon, Kendra's in California, I'm in Mississippi, and Katie is in South Carolina. Like, we could not be farther apart, but I feel like I've known these women my whole life, and it's just very, very special. So it's always an honor to do this call with them and to share our stories. And when we sat down to say, okay, how can we speak to the fears, concerns, just overcome objections that women have coming into this business, it was really easy for each of us to say, I'll take that, because that's what I struggled with. And I just realized it says Melanie Mitro. I'm not Melanie Mitro. I'm Rachel Mitchell. But anyways, I have been a coach for 5.5 years, honestly going on 6 years this summer. And I was honestly, like, in the eyes of the world, a nobody when I came into this business. Just a mom of 2 small boys who lived in a really small town in Mississippi, no social media following. Abby talked about social media. Katie, she talked about sorry, wait, did I get that backwards? Yeah, salesy. Like, I had tried the sales things, like selling things out of my home, going to other people's homes, and like, I hated it. I hated, asking people to buy something from me. And so we know what you guys are thinking. We know what your fears are because we've had them. And I think it's more important to say we have overcome them and to get to where we are today. So there's no like perfect individual who comes into this business and they just have it all and they crush it. Like, I love this business, and I know these ladies can speak to this too, because it is a constant. Every day we wake up and we are refined. We grow closer into who God has created us to be, and that happens by stepping outside our comfort zones, right? And so, raise of hands, you can tell me in the chat bar, like, who has said, I don't have time for something else. I don't have time to do this. I don't have time to exercise. I don't have time to meal plan. I don't have time to start a business. So that's the one I get to tackle tonight. And I love it because, like, I've made all the excuses, one in regards to my health, and then 2 in regards to doing something like this that really has brought purpose and passion to my life. And I get excited to tell my story about time management because I have been in this business in 2 different ways. I came in, I was a full-time college history instructor in 2014 when I started my business, and I had 2 small children, and we were broke and living paycheck to paycheck, and I was teaching like for 2 other colleges just to make ends meet, to get a little bit extra income coming in. And so like I've done it both ways. I've done it with a full-time job plus 2 extra jobs and coaching. I've done it now, praise God, in heaven above. Like I am a full-time coach. I still teach 1 traditional class for my local college, and I'm home more. Even before we all were thrown into homeschooling, we had planned to homeschool our children next year anyways. And so like I've done it both ways with the full-time jobs and the extra jobs, and I've done it at home with my kids. And it's easy to say from both standpoints, oh, it's easy for her because she has this extra time because she's not with her kids all the time, or it's easy for her because she doesn't work a full-time job and she gets to be home with her kids, right? There's no perfect way to build this business. Honestly, you have to, what we have all decided, I think probably all of us started with committing honestly, I will say 2 hours a day to this business, but I had to find the time. Like I had to first find the time to work out. I had to find the time to make a meal plan every week. I had to find the time to go to a grocery store to stock up for that meal plan. I had to find the time to start to grow a social media following, which I did not have, and to run a challenge group and to invite women to my challenge groups. Like I had to carve it out and be very intentional with it. Now, how did I do that? Like, what did that look like for me? When I really got serious about my business and about finding 3 people every single month to join my challenge groups, when I got serious about, sharing my story on social media and just getting into women's inboxes to encourage them, to invite them, to pump them up, to build them up. Like I realized when I started looking for the time, I was wasting a lot of time. I am a firm believer, based on you as an individual, I don't need more than 7 hours of sleep, and I was sleeping probably from 10 until 7 o'clock in the morning, like way too much, honestly. And I was also like, I had an hour-long commute to work. What was I doing with that time? Absolutely nothing. I had an hour-long lunch break while I was a teacher. What was I doing with that time? I was walking around the mall, looking at stuff, buying stuff that we couldn't even afford. I had, another hour-long commute home. After my kids went to bed, which I was a stickler for my kids going to bed at 8 o'clock, 7:30, honestly, when they were smaller. What did I do after that? I sat in my bed and I watched TV and I ate food. And so like when I really started to look for 2 hours a day, I really realized that I had it in these pockets of my day where I was wasting time or being unproductive or just honestly doing nothing with it. And so when it comes to time management, and when it comes to finding the time to work this business, like I am a firm believer, and I know these other ladies are, if it's important to you, you will make the time to do it. If the doctor gives you you're going to have a heart attack if you don't stop going through the drive-through, and if you don't start exercising, you're going to find the time to do it, right? And it's the same way with this business. Like God laid a purpose and a passion in my cat being weird, and a mission on my heart. And like, I found the time to make it work, and I had to sacrifice some things in order to do it. But everything I have sacrificed for this business is not something that honestly Rachel needed to become a better person in any way. And so like, as you're considering this business, as you're considering like, when am I going to find the time to write a post? When am I going to find the time for personal development? When am I going to find the time to invite people to my challenge groups? When am I going to find the time to do a workout and run a challenge group? Like, I believe that it's there. And so like, we also, one of the really cool things that we have as coaches, the cat, yes, Rebecca, the cat, I don't love the cat. So one of the things that we have as coaches is we have this tracker, and it's actually, I always call it our roadmap to success. And when you sign up, it comes to your inbox. We talk about it over and over. I have done the things on this tracker every single day for 5.5 years. And we are a very successful 2-time elite, 1-time premier team, like of women who are crushing it and doing the same things. But the thing that I love about this tracker is that there's a little time limit next to each daily activity that you do to grow your business. one, you never have to wake up and say, what do I do today to grow my business? It's all right there. Two, you never have to say, am I squirreling, wasting time? Because there is actually like a time allotment associated with each activity that you do every single day. And now, is it perfect? No. But do you get in a good routine and figure out how to make it work around your kids, around your job, around everything? Yes. And we are here to guide you, and we talk about time management a lot. And so like, I know that if God is calling you to this, if you have this like burning passion, desire in your gut to do this, you will find the time to do it. And we will also tell you what to do in those minutes, those hours as you work your business. And so I want to turn it over really quickly to a coach on our team, on Team Take Heart. She is McKenna. She is a mom of two littles, like toddler kids. And she just actually moved like, I don't know, 5 states away, crushed her business, about to hit a big goal. And she's like, doing her fitness thing, she would say very imperfectly, but the girl has like figured out how to make this business work around her family, around the crazy that is all of our lives. And like, I asked her if she would come on here and share how she does that, a little bit of her story, and just encourage you guys as you consider becoming a coach. Okay, McKenna, you're up.
Hi, Rachel, that was such a nice intro. And yes, I would say very imperfectly, but it is cool how when you just show up and you're willing, God takes the imperfect and makes a message out of all of our mess, just like I know all of these ladies feel that way too. Yes, I'm McKenna. I have 2 kids. They are 4 and 2. They keep me on my toes. I have been a coach for almost 2 years. I didn't really start coaching as a business until about the last year and a half. For me, I really jumped into coaching being postpartum with my second. I had gotten to a very dark place where I just didn't feel good anymore. Every mom knows, you get pretty lost in motherhood, and just as you add people to your family and your body changes and your life changes, life gets hard, and I didn't know who I was anymore. I didn't know what I liked anymore. I didn't know what I was going to do with my life. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I had a hard time enjoying my kids. I'd gotten to the point where I would literally sleep until they were screaming at me. I could barely get dressed. I could barely find time to feed myself. And I had been a Beachbody customer on and off for a couple of years, but I got to this point and I was like, I need to change something or I'm going to die. Like, I literally could not keep living the way it was. Like, just the thought of doing the same thing over and over again was awful. And so I remember just begging God in the middle of the night, feeding my baby, what am I supposed to do? Like, I know I need to get back on track with my health. I know that will help me. And I ran into a friend on Facebook from high school who was a coach, and she had just started coaching. And so I was like, hey, I have all the things, but I'd love to be in your group. And she asked me if I wanted to coach. And I thought she was insane because I had 50 pounds to lose. I was depressed. I couldn't even get myself dressed, right? Like, how on earth could I coach? But like Rachel just said, it was burning. I could not get the burning out. And so I committed with 50 pounds to lose and with no time that I thought I had. Because I wanted the accountability. So I honestly started for a very selfish reason because I just wanted more skin in the game to get my own butt in gear. And for me, one of the most powerful things I think for me with my coaching journey is that I've started from the beginning sharing my journey. I didn't start sharing when I had a cool transformation. I didn't start sharing when I lost the 50 pounds. I didn't start sharing when I got all my crap figured out. Everybody saw from the beginning me trying to figure out my crap and trying to lose 50 pounds and trying to clean up my eating and trying to manage babies. So I get a lot of people who tell me they're not ready to coach because they haven't figured out their own health yet. There is so much power in taking people along for the journey because everybody starts somewhere. And when you're open about the beginning and the hard, a lot of people relate to that and they want to come with you. Something else that I have been trying to do lately is be more myself. So know that as you come into this business, we just want you as you are. You're not supposed to fit into this pretty mold. You're not supposed to fit in a box. You're supposed to be you. And that took me a long time to figure out with this business. And I finally, and I'm not perfect, but I'm finally starting to figure it out and just show up as myself in the ways. Sometimes I do stories and I'm like, I can't believe I just posted that for the world to see, but that's what I was thinking about and how I'm feeling or what made me laugh. And so know that as you come into this, you are your biggest superpower. We just want you to be you. And that is honestly the best way that you can show up. And then as far as time goes with my kids, I really just try to work in my pockets like Rachel talked about. I started at the beginning. We would watch TV every night as well, and we still do sometimes, but I started working while we watched TV. So my husband would sit next to me, and I would start inviting people and looking at my posts and just while we watch TV. But you really do make time for the things that are important to you, and the time is there. I listen while my kids watch a show. I listen to training calls or to calls like this or team calls. And Rachel mentioned that we moved. 2020 has been a crazy year, you guys, even without COVID. But we did. We moved very suddenly, and the month we moved was my best month in this business, you guys. And it was because I had been consistent. I had been consistent for the last year, and I just kept showing up. And honestly, showing up during our move kept me sane. I wasn't even mostly about the business. It was because I knew that I needed something to keep me from going crazy, and the business did that for me. And showing people that you can show up in the craziest seasons of your life, even if it was just 10 minutes a day. I showed up, I worked out, I showed people how I was eating, even though we were mostly eating out because we didn't have a kitchen and we didn't have food, right? Like showing people that you can make time, and you can make time in any season if it's important to you. And just showing up consistently through the good, through the bad, made that month incredible for me. And it really was, God just showed up for me in that month. And I was so grateful because I'd been showing up for so long, and it was so good to see that I could do my best in my worst month of forever. You know, like it was a crazy month. So know that if you want this to work, you will find the time. You can make the time. I work, early mornings, nap time, after bedtime, while my kids watch a show, right? Like you just find the time. And consistency is so powerful. So even if you're just showing up for an hour a day, like Rachel talked about, that builds momentum and people see you, and you're worth showing up for just that hour a day. And the people that see you are worth, like, even if it's just one person that's seeing you right now, right? You're encouraging someone. And as you grow, you find more time. But consistency has been the one thing that's honestly carried me through, and just making the time for the things that are important and kicking out all the crap.
So good. So good. Like we are always going to speak truth to you guys. Like now, after you join us, like when you come to us with struggles, like we want you to know that we believe in this business. We know it works. And sometimes, like I tell my team, everything is figure outable. So if you want to do this, like you can find the time to do it. And so now I think I'm going to kick it off to Miss Kendra, and let her talk to you about the actual like business side of it, which is very important too.
Hi, and I'm so glad that you all, I've been unmuted, okay, good, that you all are here. I know it takes time out of your schedule, and whether you're home or your state is opening back up or you've got a lot going on, just making the time to be here is such a powerful first step. So thank you so much. So I'm going to talk for a little bit, like Rachel said, just about the business, but I want to share when I first thought about becoming a coach. Well, first let me share, I'm a little bit of an older coach. I have 4 children, 3 biologicals, 1 stepdaughter who are all in college. So when I started this business, I had was not even remotely on social media. Like I didn't have it. I didn't have an account and not go on it. Like I didn't even have it. So if you did not have a huge social media following, take that, just check that box, push that excuse out of the way. If I can grow a business with 0, you can too. Okay, so it's just all of this you learn along the way. And my friends will tell you, I'm the least techie person in the whole wide world. So again, if I can do it, anyone can do it. But all that to say, let's talk about what this business is and how do we even make money. One of the things I struggled with when I first thought about becoming a coach is is this a real business? And so if you've asked yourself that question, or if somebody else has asked you or made you feel bad, like, I can't believe you'd even consider that. That's like a pyramid scheme or something like that, which happened to me all the time. I live in Northern California, right outside of Silicon Valley. So my neighbors are CEOs of Google, Facebook, all that kind of stuff. So a little MLM you do on, the computer is not a legit business when you're running all these massive worldwide companies. And yet I have the most powerful conversations with employees or executives of these companies, because let me tell you why. The first thing people want to say when they don't understand something is that what you're doing is wrong or not legitimate, because that's fear that comes out. Like, that's not a real business. If you're in business, it has to look like my business or the traditional business. This is not a traditional business. And I think that's what I love about it. Okay. But I want to just kind of remind you, if you get concerned if this is a real business, first and foremost, in our business, we have real products that we use to help people, the workouts, our performance line, Shakeology, real products that people consume. And we also offer a service. As long as you are legitimately selling goods and services, you're a business. If you are taking people's money and you're promising something and they get nothing, that's called a pyramid scheme. When somebody signs up with you, then they get sent the supplies, the tools, and you provide the coaching business, the accountability, the challenge group, all that kind of stuff. Totally legitimate. One time I was at a baseball game with my son, and he was playing, and I was talking to one of the dads who's a VP of sales for a huge company here. And he had been, our kids are in the same, circle, whatever. And so he'd been kind of following me on Facebook, and of course had to rib me on the sidelines, like, oh, what's that thing you're doing for working out? That's not a real business. And all this crap, okay, because he was some big VP. And so I ended up having a conversation, and I stayed super calm, although I wanted to punch him right in the face. And I'm not a violent person at all, but I don't like when people talk about stuff they don't know anything about, instead of just asking questions to get to know. But I totally took a deep breath and just had a mature conversation that comes from confidence of knowing that what we do is legitimate, and not letting people's doubts make me confused or make me feel self-conscious. And I simply said, hey, his name was Kevin. I said, Kevin, hey, do you make money and you get bonuses as the VP of sales by how well your team does? Is that true? And he goes, yeah, that's true. I said, does your team sell? He works for a big software company here. Does your team sell the software? Yes. So let me tell you, that is no different than what I do. The only thing that's different is that I cut out the middleman and I work directly with my people. I sell or share, but essentially they buy workout programs and they buy tools. And my service is I come alongside them and support them. Tell me how that's different than what you do. You sell a software program, and then you come alongside and you teach the people how to use that program. What's the difference? And he was like, and he had this whole, he tried to refute it. And I just kept saying, help me understand what the difference is. How is your company more legit than mine? Because you have a title of VP for X company. I won't say what it is, but you all know it. And I go, and because I work for myself. And it was this really cool experience of afterwards, he's like, okay, Kendra, yeah, that's exactly what we do. That's exactly what any company does. And you make money by helping people, and you sell the stuff, the workouts and the stuff, and then you make money by that, as well as how well your team does. Yep, same thing. And so I tell you that because if you have anything in you that says, oh my gosh, is this a legitimate business? The answer is 1,000% yes. I am a woman of integrity, and each of these leaders on this team are women of integrity. We would never be a part of anything that was any type of scam that took money without delivering products and services. It's simply not how we operate. And so there's two ways in this company that you make money. One is, like I just said, commission. Commission off the sales, just like any other sales job does. The other way that you make money, and your coach will go into more detail about this as you decide to sign up, or if you have more questions, we won't dive into it today unless you have specific questions. Please feel free to ask. But the second way is by volume or income that you earn from the amount that your team works together to help other people. So it's very simple, very straightforward, just like any other company. And I also want to tell you just a little personal story. So many of you are new on this call, and I want you to understand our hearts and my heart as I share about this opportunity as a coach. So 10 years ago, last Thursday, I actually lost my husband to cancer when I was only 35 years old with 3 little kids. And I can tell you, he was diagnosed at 34, dead 10 months later from a horrific cancer that popped up in his healthy body out of the blue, and it was a horrible battle for us. And one of the things that I experienced so much during that time, but when your world turns upside down and you have such a real glimpse at how precious life is, how quickly things can change, it matters how you spend your day. It matters how you spend your time, and it matters how you make money and what you do with your life. And I knew it before then, but even ever since then, showing up and working with a purpose to change lives and to make people's lives better is the essence of what this business is about. After going through what I did, losing my husband, becoming a widow and single mom, and learning how to rebuild a life after total trauma and devastation, I will tell you, I would, again, never be involved in something that was not legitimate and didn't have purpose to what we do. Life is too short to do things just for quick fix money. Life is too short and too precious to do something that doesn't have purpose or meaning behind it. We get one chance at this life, one chance to go after our goals, one chance at living to the full potential that God created us to be and to live at. And so I want to encourage you that if you are just kind of like, is this right for me? Listen to that little whisper in your heart that says, it's okay that it's different. It's okay that you've never done it before. It's okay if you even feel like you don't have any skills. A widowed single mom who used to be a teacher with no business classes in me and no social media has been able to grow a business where I now am staying home, of course, full time. Well, I've been staying home for a while, but full-time doing a coaching business. I was able to open up my own grief practice, go back to school, and now I also help other people around the globe deal with their grief. And I'm also putting 3 kids through college. So this is legitimate. It's totally valuable, and it can absolutely change your life. And if nobody has told you this today, we want to be the ones that tell you you are capable, you were created for a purpose, you were created for more, and everything that you dream up of and hear that you want your life to be, you can make happen. You just have to say, okay, I'm gonna go for it. I'm going for it. And then lean into your coach, lean into your calling, and go after it. And it's totally possible. All those things that you're dreaming about.
Okay, so you lit something in me that I have to ask a question. And you guys, like, we love what we do. We love what we do, and we want to bring you along with us. But like, ask us questions in the chat bar because I know you have them. You can be shy. You can type it. You can unmute yourself. We don't care. But I want to ask like the ladies leading this call. And I'll go first because I'm asking the question. But like, I want to know, Kendra, you said something about the grief counseling and, just sharing your story. Like, what are you doing today because of coaching that you didn't ever imagine yourself doing? Like for me, 5-6 years ago, like I am absolutely sharing my faith in a way that I never had the courage to do before I became a coach. And so that's really huge for me. Like not just sharing it on social media, but sharing it in my challenge groups, sharing it with my family. I feel like I have been emboldened, in that way to lead even my children. Guys, like coaching brought me home to homeschool my children, which in turn gives me an opportunity to lead them in their faith more than just like an hour before they go to school and 2 hours after their baseball practice is over, right? Like I never expected it. I didn't become a coach to see that change in my heart, in my life, in my walk with God, but like he did. And so I think that one of the things we do as coaches that we have realized that, I don't know if this is the right way to say it, but we have the power to do is to help cast a vision for other women and your lives that maybe you can't see what's going to happen because you say yes. And I'm not going to guarantee you that all your problems are going to go away because you can become a coach. Far from that. But like, I will say that my problems became kind of like my passion. Our mess has become our message. Our struggles have become whatever. I don't know. There's so many cliches, but you get what I'm saying. So like, I want to know from Katie, Kendra, Abby, McKenna, if you're still on here, like, what are you doing today? Like that you never, ever imagined yourself doing because of coaching?
Yeah, that's a loaded question. Because I could honestly list a lot, but I'll say personally, I think from being where I was in my life and being just at the lowest point ever to being where I am today, strong enough to not only live my life to the fullest and give my kids a healthy, happy, present mom, and my husband, his wife back, but to be able to be strong enough to help other women get to this place too, that are willing, to do the work and are ready for that change. And then, my faith, which is crazy. We were talking about this in a group text between Abby, Kendra, and Rachel and I, saying like, who would have ever thought that being a Beachbody coach would bring us closer to God? But it's true. My faith is just strengthened in ways I never imagined. And professionally, I feel super proud. I've always supported my husband in going after his dreams. He went back to school to get his bachelor's and master's, and go after the career he wanted. And to watch him be able to do that and support him and be happy while he's doing that, and then for him in return watch me be able to do the same thing with my life and contribute financially in ways that I wouldn't be able to with what I was doing before, has helped our family a lot. Not just our own finances, but being able to help other people, family, community members, things that we weren't able to do before. So those are just some of the things that this opportunity has brought my way. Kendra?
Yes. Oh my gosh. So you guys heard a part of it. So yes, after I became a coach and was able to leave my other job, my full-time job, then I ended up going back to school and getting my grief coaching certificate and opening up a practice where I work with clients all over the world. And there's a huge part of the fitness part of that, because when you're grieving or when you're going through a divorce or when you've lost someone you love or you have financial issues, there's a lot of times we turn to emotional eating, or we just stop taking care of ourselves, as in the case of me, because I'm so busy caring for everybody else that was suffering. And so to be able to have this space in my life, to be in my days, to be able to know that that's what God was calling me to do as well, and to be able to pursue that and then grow a practice and have that be successful has been one of the most incredible things in my life. And I think also working with my clients and showing my children that life is going to throw us curveballs. No matter who you are, it doesn't have to be the death of a spouse. I hope to God it never is for you. But life is going to throw us curveballs that look crazy and that hurt and that are really hard to deal with. And I think one of the most powerful things is that with our faith and with this opportunity, we can come out of anything. And we can not just survive it, but we can thrive in spite of it. And helping women to experience that, to first come to understand that that's possible, then to experience that, and then to be able to pour back into their families and to their community and their world, it's the greatest gift ever. So that's been the pretty powerful things for me.
I can go. So I'm like in the middle of pulling up my daughter's toward potty training my 2-year-old. And I think like, as I'm listening to all these like incredible women, I think for me, it's, I'm hoping they're not going to argue in a second here. It's just that it's being present with my kids. And really, I know this is going to sound corny and cliche, guys, and I'm not that corny of a person, but dreaming big. I think I got my master's, I went to college, got checked off all just the right boxes, and getting to a place where we were just kind of like, is this what our lives look like for the next 20 years? Like, it's fine, it's good, but realizing that it's okay to dream a little bit bigger, and it's okay to want a little bit more for our family. So being able last year to take, and all these gals too have earned these Success Club trips, like Beachbody just does an incredible job of rewarding us for our hard work, but being able to watch my son and my husband and my 1-year-old who's crying because she didn't want to be in the water, but watch him swim with the dolphins and create memories for our family and just be more present, not having to have that Sunday night stress creep up on me and ruin the rest of the weekend because I was worried about juggling all those things. I think also the power of just, and this is maybe because I'm a history major, but it's really what I talk to my team about a lot, is the power of your story and leaning into exactly, and faith is a big piece of my team too, but exactly who God has created you to be. And I think sometimes we can look around and say, well, my house doesn't look like an Instagram influencer's life, or, I haven't had this incredible, inspiring story of devastating loss or, this amazing transformation, but realizing that just kind of the nitty-gritty day-to-day details of your life do matter, and it makes a difference. And I think that's so incredibly empowering to others. So literally while you're in the middle of just kind of hot mess momming, know that you're also working towards this bigger future for your family and impacting so many people along the way. And I think that's so powerful. So I'm just grateful. I'm going to mute because they're going to hear.
Guys, I think we have, I don't know if McKenna left. She may have left. If so, that's okay. And Suzanne shared, she's a coach on our team too, that she has a really, really powerful story, honestly, of overcoming too. And she's getting to help other women. And it's just, you guys, it doesn't happen overnight. None of this that we've shared with you, you've heard our stories, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. McKenna's been a coach for a year and a half. So, that whole consistency piece, and just this, we talk about the slight edge a lot. It's really, this business is built on doing some small things every single day, that compound and build up to making a big impact in our lives and other people's lives. And so we are inviting you along to do that with us. And so what we want you to do now is follow up with the coach who invited you here. You may be watching this live, you may be watching the recording back, but just reach out to the person who invited you here. We all have a brand new coach kickoff training happening next month, and you are invited to do that with us. We have the trainings. We didn't really even go into that a whole lot. We have the trainings. We have weekly calls. We have team trainings. You're not going to be at a loss for training, but we'll do our best not to just overwhelm you. Although that's really, it's impossible not to be overwhelmed. Okay, wait. Okay, Katie, do you want to take that? What were her questions? I missed them.
Yeah. So Crystal asked when to start your own bod group, and can you have clients do different workout programs, and how many people should be signed up? So I can answer those questions. So honestly, we all basically have always said to our coaches, if you want to co-run a group with one of us, you're always more than welcome to do that. But I also believe that you should start running one on your own right away, because people are coming to you to be coached, not to me, and they've signed up with you for a reason, and they want to be led by you. So I always think it's really great for a coach to just start running a group. I always say give at least 2 weeks of a start date, so you have enough time to market it and talk to people and share with people about what you're doing. A lot of times people can be like, oh, I don't want to post on social media too much, But the thing is, not everybody sees everything you're putting out there. So you do need a couple weeks to kind of consistently share with everybody what you do have to offer. You can have, like right now I have an ongoing group and everybody in there is doing different workouts. And we have like 60 people in there and they're all committed to a different workout. Drinking, Shakeology, Performance Line. And it's great because people see other people doing other workouts and they're like, I'm doing that workout next. I'm doing that workout next. But then also like I do exclusive groups that is just one, workout program, like 80-day obsession or bar, and everybody in the group is doing just that workout. I'm going to be doing a group just for 2B Mindset, which is nutrition. And then honestly, like a lot of my coaches will start their first group with 5 new clients, and that's great because it's, enough people where you're not too overwhelmed, with keeping up and you're kind of getting, used to everything. But it's also enough people to keep, the group, engaged. So I hope that helps kind of answer your questions. Even if we only have even if we only have one person sign up, sorry. So if you have only one person sign up, then I would join forces with someone else, like your coach, or even like a couple of my new coaches, they're co-running a group together. Because, one had 3 and one had 2. So then they're running a group together. But honestly, like you want your goal to be at least 3 new people a month.
And Katie, can I add to that?
Yeah.
I would say too, Crystal, that this is such a great question. When you're starting, like Katie said, such great suggestions, partner up. But if you feel like you don't have someone that you can partner up with right now, the best thing you can do is give your client just the best customer service and coaching you can. And what that means is just simply coming alongside them on this journey that they're on. Talk to them, set up a call for their goals and why. Have them go over that with you. Even with all my clients, I still do a first initial call to talk about goals and whys. I have my clients fill out my form for their goals and what they want to accomplish, and then I get on the phone with them because it's super important, I believe, to have that connection. And yes, it takes more time, but when you're starting out, and if you have just one person, I'm a big believer, and I think Jesus modeled that one life matters just as many as 500. So your group is not less important if you have one than it is if you have 500. And so when you can pour into somebody, because that's the one person that you've been given this month, then pour into them and that will totally grow and you're going to change that one life. So that's another way to also look at that too. But yes, if you can pour into that person and connect with other coaches or join a group, that's awesome too.
Just know that there's options no matter where you're at. There's definite options. I know. Rebecca, sorry, Kendra. I saw Rebecca asked, what does the new coach training entail? Let me just see. There's just one question from her. So the new coach training, honestly, we are going to cover everything. We'll start with just the basics that you need to know about, your business, how to share, how to connect with people, how to, work with your market, and, coming up with content to share on social media. We honestly cover everything. There is like no stone unturned with when it comes to what we have provided to you for training. We also do weekly calls with our teams, so you're constantly going to get that training and that one-on-one where you can ask questions and interact. We all make time for our coaches to do one-on-ones and to set goals and to come up with a plan on how they can make those goals happen. And then I think Rachel, you were the one that was talking about the business activity tracker, right? Right. So you'll also be given that where you can print that out. And that's basically, like Rachel had said, it's going to tell you all the things to be doing in order to build a successful business. And guys, I will tell you, every single one of us consistently check the boxes on this every single day. for the 5-6 years that we've been coaching, and we do not miss our goals because of that. Like, I am 64 consecutive months of hitting my goals because I do what they tell me to do. So it's all, which is awesome, because you're not sitting there going like, I don't even know where to begin. Like, it tells you this is what you need to do on a daily basis in order to build a successful and stable business. So I hope that it was kind of like not going into too much detail about the training, because I don't want to overwhelm you guys, but honestly, we cover everything.
Yeah. And I, like we also have a weekly call. Like, so once a week we get on a call just with our new coaches and actually go over how to do the new things, like how to start posting, how to invite people, how to do the other things that are on your tracker. So, like Suzanne said, you're never alone. We definitely want to create self-starters. We want you to be, to have some initiative yourself, but we understand that the first 1, 2, 3 months you are learning, and we are your teachers. We can't do anything for you. We can lead by example and tell you how to do it, and you take the action and see the results. So, I love our new coach trainings. They definitely, that's how we all got to where we are. So, yeah. Okay.
I just want to say one more thing too. I think sometimes people also get a little bit intimidated because they're like, oh my gosh, when I start this business, so I just have to like work every day, all the time, whenever I have a free moment. And one of the things that we really stress is setting business hours. Now I'm going to confess, because we'll always be honest with you, I'm a work in progress with that. These girls will know, right? Like when you have goals and you want to hit them, you're like, I'm just going to work and I'm going to work. And when you love what you do and it doesn't feel like work, you could just work all the time. But at the same time, the point of having this business is to help change lives and also to bring freedom to our own lives, and working all the time 24/7 is not freedom. And so we want you to know that we recognize that. We are, we really will help you set boundaries, and you can totally grow your business without working all the time. These girls know that I will take Sundays off. I rarely ever post on Sunday. It is really a day for me to like swim in the pool with my kids. We're usually at the lake, but to be present with my family. So know that you can have a successful business, but also have boundaries in your life. And so that's the point of freedom. So I just want to stress that, because a number of my coaches have said, I see people working all the time and you work all the time, and we talk about doing the business tracker every single day. And I'm like, yes, you have to do it every day, but there's also boundaries too that we will help you set. So know that.
Okay, so we definitely want to be respectful of everybody's time. So just know that, because it is 9:02, just know that whoever, brought you here, like, reach out to us, ask us questions. We will make time to talk to you about anything you want to know. We are open books about this business and about our journeys, and please do not hesitate. And there are no dumb questions. We've asked them all, believe me. So don't feel like you can't, ask us a certain question. So thank you so much for giving us your time tonight, because time is precious, and we do appreciate you being here. And we hope that, we inspired you, and we hope that we get to see a lot of you, if not all of you, joining us on this journey. So thanks for joining us, guys. Have a good night. Bye.